Do you have an interest in learning how to raise worms? These can be great as pet feed. Chickens absolutely love worms. And this can be a great way to get yourself some bait, create some really good soil amendments. And let's take a look at what's involved here. Now, I am fortunate in that I have a lot of horses around, and I can use that to generate composted manure, which is what was in that tractor bucket. But here are the trays that I like. These trays are actually from the restaurant industry. These are bussing trays. They're really heavy duty, and I like these a lot better. Some folks will use the cheap plastic trays from the dollar store. These are so rugged, so thick. I am going to punch some holes in the bottoms, and I'm going to leave all four stacked up so that I get all the holes at one time. You can see the drill kind of stepping down through the layers here. Well, this is a great way to save you some time, and it makes them all uniform. Not that the worms really care at all, but it is going to help with drainage to make sure that we never have too much water in the media. But we do need it to be moist. But I just hold it right up against the bucket of the tractor. It's the same height as the tailgate on my truck, and scrape a layer in there. So I fill it about halfway. Make sure I get all of that good, really, really nice manure. The reason manure is so good is because it holds all that mycelia, bacteria, and all of that stuff. This is composted a little bit. I do add some cardboard and, of course, the all-important additive water. Now, I usually like to soak the cardboard, but I'm actually using the cardboard box that came with the trays, so I didn't have time to pre-soak these, but you certainly can. I put them in a 5-gallon bucket, let them sit for a day or two, and then I fill them up with manure and worms to get the tray going. Now, this is a tray that I'm splitting. This is an existing Canadian nightcrawler tray that I split in half. There were approximately 400 or so worms in this tray initially. So I took half of those out and put them in the new tray that I was starting. I was waiting for these trays to come in to do that. But now I've got half of the worms in the other tray. And again, I'm going to level this out, and then I'm going to get some moisture in there. I love this sprayer. It's a cordless lithium-ion powered sprayer. It just puts air pressure in the bottle, and that forces the water out. But it's really nice for maintaining the moisture. Now these are I have a mill that I use to actually grind my eggshells. I get a ton of eggshells because I eat a carnivore diet, so I'm going through a lot of eggs every day. And these are just great soil amendments for getting that calcium back in there, and creating an environment that is just fantastic for the mycelia and bacteria that the worms eat. Now, some people will say, worm chow or worm food. This isn't really what they're eating. This is what the stuff that they're eating loves to grow on. Now, this is moldy coffee grounds, so it's already got a head start in the mold department, which is just what these worms really want. They want that the simpler life forms that they can ingest, and in the process, they are going to transform this manure into some of the most beautiful worm castings you'll ever see. And this coffee is a great amendment to that soil composition for them. And the nice thing about the horse manure is that it blended with these other things creates a very long-term food source for them. There's plenty of cellulose in that horse manure to deteriorate over time. And having a lot of dirt or soil in the compost doesn't really help them. That's not anything they can really eat. So this creates an environment which is like them swimming around in a buffet all the time. And if you keep that moisture right, which is what the cardboard is doing, the cardboard is there to kind of moderate the moisture level and also decompose, because it is going to feed all of the critters as well. It's just a longer term food source for them and a way to mediate the moisture content in the soil. So, here I am splitting this. I put a layer of manure in then a layer of cardboard, and then I just hold this with my hip up against the bucket of the tractor and pull in some more of that horsey goodness right there. And, level it out, make it nice. I mean, might as well create a nice space for them. Now, these 2 trays are all night crawlers, Canadian night crawlers. And I'm kind of topping this one off with a bit of water, giving the original or the new one that we just added a dose of water as well. You don't want too much water, but you want this to be moist. They're not going to reproduce unless they have a moist environment. So that's why this is a crucial step if you're looking to grow your worm farm. Now, these are smaller worms. These are my California native worms that I thought would be really helpful for anglers in the California area. I actually plan to solicit donations to the Zayante Hollow Ranch through this worm program, where the worms are free for fishermen that are heading up to the local lake to go fishing. They just make a donation to the sustainment of what we do here at the Zayante Hollow Ranch. But yeah, these are doing really well. They are reproducing like crazy. I've got tons of different size worms in there, from infants, from youngins all the way up to fully grown adults. So these are smaller than the Canadian night crawlers, but they reproduce at a much higher rate. So they are really taking over in here and loving this media. And that's actually how I got these guys, was when I was harvesting manure. I was noticing, man, there's a ton of worms in here. So I separated them out as best I could and gave them their own place. And I have 3 trays of native California earthworms, and they're prospering in this media. And the Canadian night crawlers, they're a little slower to reproduce, but even at that, the rates are still incredible. So I'm giving a little bit more material in here, because I do notice that after the worms have been in this material for a while, the cellulose breaks down and that level drops considerably. This one was full before, and now it's down about 1/3. And digging around in here, you can see just the variety of sizes of worms in here. They are happy. They are replicating themselves. And what's fun about worm reproduction is that when 2 worms get together, they actually fertilize each other, so they both end up producing eggs. So that is part of the reason they're so prolific in the rate that they can expand. Make sure you pull the tape and stuff off your cardboard material. Not that it's poisonous or toxic to the worms at all. I don't believe it is. But it's not really helpful. It's just going to get in the way when you go to create this beautiful, luxurious soil amendment called worm castings. You don't need that in there. It doesn't help anything. So I might as well get rid of it. Now this is wet cardboard, again, that I'm creating a couple of blank beds. They're beds that are already prepped. They've already got this beautiful composted manure in it. So the microbial life is still going on here. And these beds are going to be all ready to go to transfer worms when I split another cell out and create these. So that's what I'm doing with the rest of these trays, is just creating 2 more future beds for worms. I'll probably break out one of the native California worms into one of these new trays in a month or 2 after their population increases some. But yeah, this is really, really easy to do. Once you give them all the stuff they need and you keep their temperature pretty well within their boundaries, which is a pretty wide spectrum. I mean, from like 40 degrees Fahrenheit up to like 70 or 80, they're pretty happy. Now in California, that's easy. If you're somewhere else, you're going to have to take steps to keep them safe and happy if you've got these up on shelves where the air temperature might fluctuate more. But yeah, basically the drill here is, moisture This manure, where I took it from, the area that I harvested this from, is particularly dry. It gets full sun during a large part of the day. So I happened to be turning it over, and I said, wow, this is some really good stuff. So I scooped some up. And you can also make covers out of the box that comes with the trays to keep these guys shielded and to keep that moisture where it belongs. Yeah. Hey, if you found this content enjoyable, do give us a subscribe and a like. And I'm going to put up some other content that I think you might be interested in on the DIY Maker channel as well. You all have an amazing week.